welcome to the preview show delivered by FedEx. I'm Marty Snider from NBC Sports. Chris Rice from College Racing, also right here at NASCAR.com, where he is our crew chief. Got to talk about a crazy race at Dover. Jimmie Johnson, 83rd win, ties him with Cale Yarborough. I mean, it's incredible what he's been able to do, isn't it? When do we start having this conversation of, is he the greatest of all time?
He could be the GOAT. I mean, we see how fast he got to 83 wins, and I'm telling you, that's one of the fastest that I've ever seen anybody get to any wins in racing. But let's don't forget about Chad Canals, Jimmie Johnson. They fight like brothers, but they win races. He could be the greatest of all time, but I'm telling you, I'm enjoying watching how well they run every week.
And that's a good point. I don't think people appreciate kind of the history that's happening before their eyes, and it always happens that once you get out of the sport for a while, that's when they appreciate things, isn't that? Is that always the case?
That's
right?
Always the case,
yeah.
for sure.
Can he get to 100 wins? That's my question. I don't know if he can get there or not. That's
100 wins is a lot. Let's think about it. That's a lot.
Are restarts starting to get in Kyle Larson's head a little bit? Because, I mean, this is another example of a race he lost on a final restart.
Well, restarts, he always talks about how well he does when he's in the pack, when he's got other cars to gauge off of. But when he's on the front row, he doesn't do that well. So I'm telling you, restarts is key for him right now. Coming down to a green-white checkered, losing a race, he almost finished third. So he's got to figure that out, and he's got to figure it out pretty fast because you're not going to close races if you just continue to lose.
Yeah, he led the most laps, obviously, at Dover and had the car to beat, no doubt about it. All right, a little breaking news this week. Bubba Wallace will be in the 43 until Eric Almirola gets back in the 43, the first African-American to be in a Cup Series race since 2006 with Bill Lester. Significance of that, number one, but what does Bubba need to do in these first couple of races? Because he's never been in a Cup Series car before.
Well, what he has to do is finish the race, okay? So he will run well because I feel Bubba does a great job in the Xfinity Series. He's a great race car driver, so he just needs to run all the laps, get everyone's respect, and they will help him be better in the race car. And I feel Bubba's going to have a great race at Pocono, and he's going to have a great race at Michigan.
Very cool promotion at Friday at Pocono this week. If you bring in a Monster Energy can and you recycle it, you can get in free. So you got some we all can borrow. Let's all go as a group. Come
absolutely, we'll get you some. That's cool by Pocono Speedway to do something like that.
Yeah, absolutely cool promotion. So if you have a Monster Energy can, you want to go to Pocono, you can get in for free on Friday. All right, let's talk about the tricky triangle. Has it become, Chris, more about strategy than it has race car at Pocono?
Absolutely. You know, Chase Elliott, you and I were talking about it before we went on air. He lost the race last year because of strategy. I feel that hurt him throughout the entire race. But I'm telling you, the tricky triangle, you run it like a road course. And when I say that, you kind of run the race backwards. So you pit when you're in your fuel window. And now with the stages, it's really going to get crazy. So it's going to be a little different. This is going to be one racetrack that I look at that goes, okay, the stages are really going to change everything up.
How do you manage that? Do you say, all right, don't worry about the stage wins. I'm just going to that lap 200 mark. I'm just trying to win this race. That's all I'm worried about.
Well, you either worry about winning a race or you worry about stage points. So that's something that's key. Here it's going to be really key because the end of the race is so long and so far away that, okay, I got to get some stage points and let's try to drive back through the field. So I'm going to worry about stage points. I think other people might worry about the end of the race.
All right, who are you going to make your picks this weekend for our NASCAR Fantasy Live picks? What are you nervous?
I'm very nervous because I've struggled this year, but I'm telling you, I'm going with Kyle Larson. I feel that it's time for him to close, okay? And when I mean close, he's going to get down towards the end of the race. He's going to pass a couple of cars, and he's going to go into victory lane at Pocono. Kyle Larson is my pick.
I'm going to go with a guy who's finally turned it around after a really bad month of May. I'm going to go with Chase Elliott. I think loves Pocono, runs very well there, and young guys tend to be very successful there.
That's a good pick, but I am going to beat him finally.
None of us picked a Gibbs car, by the way.
No, they're still struggling. I foresee that some speed will come soon.
I agree with that. All right, make sure you check out everything from Pocono this weekend, the Xfinity Series on Saturday. And then on Sunday, the Exalta presents the Pocono 400, Sunday, 3 p.m. Eastern on FS1. Don't miss the Pocono race weekend, everyone. We'll be back here next week. See you then.